Hi everyone. Welcome to our another live session. Today we are going to be joined by Dr. Priyanka, and it's going to be an interesting. I'm just sending her a request, and we're just waiting for her to join. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, please start writing them down here in the comments, or you can DM. It's going to be an interesting live session. If you're a mom or a dad and you are worried about, how to take care of your baby's sensitive skin this winter, I think this is the most interesting session that you should be watching and also be interacting with. So doctor, if you can see our request you to join us, just accept it, please. Thank you for joining. I see so many of you here. Okay, I think another second or so. No, is unable to join. Just give us a second. Sometimes technology is just very hard to maneuver with. So give us another second. I'm hoping Dr. Priyanka can join us. While she joins, I think I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Dr. Priyanka. Dr. Priyanka Reddy is a renowned dermatologist based out of Bangalore. And, she has over 12 years of experience. She's got a lot of happy patients with her. Hi, doctor. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for joining. I was, in fact, telling everyone that I was telling a little bit about you, actually. So just before we begin, I'm just going to tell everyone who's joined us. So Dr. Priyanka Reddy is a known face on Instagram, and she's a very renowned dermatologist based out of Bangalore. She has over 12 years of experience. And the best thing is that she loves dermatology and everything about skin. So if you're a mom and if you're worried about what to do with your baby sensitive skin, especially during these winter months, then I trust you, follow her advice. We will be asking a lot of questions to her. If you have some questions of your own, please do note down in the comments below, and we'll take those questions also one by one. Doctor, welcome. How are you doing?
Very excited and happy to be a part of this live. First, because I'm doing live after a really long time, and second, because I'm doing it with a brand that I really love and trust. I've been using this baby range for my kids. I think you know this. We spoke about this also. This is one brand that I've been using for my kids, so I'm excited for both the reasons. So
That's
yeah,
amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much. The first question, doc, is as a mother, we all worry, how often should I bathe my kid? So, if you would like to tell us, especially during this winter up north, I know Bangalore has an amazing weather all throughout the year, but up north, as mothers, especially when you see I'm all bundled up here, I'm really worried about how to take care of our kids' skin. And I'm sure mothers like me will also have the same question. So if you could tell us, some tips on, how often should I bathe my baby, especially during these winter months?
and I think this question is also a debate between mums and in-laws because it's a generational gap. They believe in some set of principles, and we believe something that is suiting the current time and date. So I think this is a very big and important question that you've brought up. So generally, to keep the baby fresh and to be nourished, we recommend bathing 2 times in a day, once in the morning and once in the evening, right? But it is also very subjective to the individual skin concern of the baby, the skin type of the baby, and also the environmental situation, because the ultimate outcome of how the baby's skin is a combination of internal and external factors.
Okay.
So ultimately, what is the goal of giving bath to the baby? One is to keep the skin clean and hygienic, and two is also to give them a refreshed feel. To give bath, we also gently massage the muscles because baby is in long resting phase. We also want to improve the blood circulation, so we do gentle massage to the baby. So these are the three goals of giving bath, right? We have to use our common sense and understand what is best for the baby. So I would say yes, during summer months when the baby is sweating, twice a day is compulsory, and sometimes even in between, if the baby is sweating a lot and not in an air conditioned or temperature ambient room, then we also have to a sponge bath to clear off the sweat and all the accumulated debris of the body. But if it is in winter, baby is bundled up, I would say even one time bath is okay. The second time, what you can do is to give gentle massage using a moisturizer just to keep the baby muscles and the circulation going on. So this is something that we have to figure out based on the weather conditions. So for the second time, we could do like a sponge bath to clean the baby, to clean the skin, and use a good thick moisturizer. So keeping the areas clean is so we focus more on the diaper area, underarms, neck especially. These are the areas where there are more folds. The sweat and all the debris tends to get accumulated in the folds of the baby, like the elbows, knees, all of that. Those areas can be concentrated more. So once or twice a bath is good enough. Going over the board again will cause more excessive dryness in the kids, in the baby skin.
Yeah, actually, those are good points. And, one very important thing which you mentioned is, using lukewarm water, which is amazing because in winter months, we feel that as much warm water, as much hot water we can give bath to our babies with, we are doing a great thing. But unfortunately, we're not, right? We're stripping off the moisture from their skin. So, I mean, what you mentioned is amazing.
Yeah, so the one more thing that we commonly hear when we say give bath with lukewarm water in winters and preferably cold, slightly tilting towards the colder summers. Most parents are like, what do you mean if I give bath with cold water, the child can catch cold? Cold doesn't happen like that. Bath with cold water or give rise to cold or fevers. Having said that, yes, when you give bath with cold water, there's a sudden temperature drop affecting the immunity. That is why we tend towards lukewarm water in order to maintain the temperature and also make sure that the skin barrier is not disrupted. So when you give bath with extremely hot water, number one. Number two, long periods of shower. Usually for kids, many parents have this misconception that longer showers are better. So they give bath for a long time and also put them in a tub for a really long time. This is really bad for natural oils. This will lead to dryness and eventually lead irritated, inflamed skin. So short time for the shower, lukewarm water, and 1 to 2 times a bath is the right thing to do in the current times.
Yeah, which actually makes sense. Thank you for sharing that. Doctor, just following up with this, winters, a lot of kids also have, dry cheeks and chapped lips. So how can a mother ensure that this is prevented, especially during these harsh winter months?
Yeah, so before, I think the same question, Shalini, we are answering your question. How can I prevent my baby's skin from becoming dry, irritated, and colder weather? This is exactly the same question that you are asking. So again, like I said, external factors being the temperature conditions, environmental conditions that can also lead to dryness. But internally also, we have to look into it. So it is about how the skin type is running in the family. So that is something that we need to consider. But external, like we said, point is we've already discussed about the bath time. Limit that lukewarm water. Second point is use good moisturizers. Okay, and try to use, depending on the weather. In summers, you can use a little lightweight moisturizer. In winters, you switch to cream-based moisturizers and look for have very soothing and nourishing properties, like what you have in your range. Like the oatmeal is an excellent, colloidal oatmeal is a very, very good ingredient to have to nourish the skin, the damaged barrier. It helps in soothing and alleviating the symptoms of dryness and inflammation. So that's a very good ingredient to have. We can also have ingredients like ceramides, shea butter. We can have humectants like glycerin. All these are good ingredients to be having in a moisturizer. Put on, number 3 is put on clothes that are skin friendly, like cotton or bamboo materials. Avoid fabrics that are irritating to the skin, like nylon, rayon. You have silk, all of these things that are not very skin friendly. Avoid it at all costs. If at all you want fancy clothing, first put on something that is very thin cotton fabric, and then put on your other fancy stuff on top for the parties or events. But most of 99% of the times you have to restrict baby's clothing to skin friendly fabrics, right? And try to avoid certain ingredients in baby skincare products like sulfates, parabens, phthalates. All these are okay to be tried and experimented for older skin, like adult skin, because these also come with certain benefits. It's not like they're useless or harmful. But for baby skin, we try to restrict anything that is not necessary. Try to avoid ingredients like these in the skincare products. Try to put the child in an ambient temperature. too cold, too hot, anything that is hitting directly on the skin is not good. Like especially the AC, the air that comes from the AC also can strip away, cause more of transepidermal water loss. Hands that are directly facing the skin's body is very, very detrimental. So place the child in a position where nothing is hitting the child's skin directly. That, and then if at all you're living in dry places like us, like in Bangalore, I would highly recommend using humidifiers in the room, because there is a lot of transepidermal water loss that can happen and make the skin very dry. So having a humidifier will set the humid levels in the room to an appropriate level that can maintain the natural oils and natural hydration of the skin. So no matter how much ever you can't keep applying moisturizer every hour or 2 hours, right? So especially at night. So one way to retain that hydration is to add on humidifiers in your room, especially if you have a child who's suffering with dry skins, inflamed eczematic skin. So this is a good add-on that can have.
Ashley, thank you for sharing that. Doctor, someone has mentioned saying, are there any, okay, so I think they're talking about psoriasis. I'm not sure if that's, relevant here, but, we will take up that question anyway. So do you think there is a methox trait? I don't know, whatever that term is.
Is definitely one of the very effective treatment options for psoriasis if it's a severe psoriasis. But this is supposed to be discussed with your dermatologist in person based on the severity of your psoriasis, based on your overall health condition, as methotrexate is not supposed to be given in anybody and everybody without analyzing the internal health, especially the. So yes, it is definitely a treatment option, but it is not supposed to be popped in by yourself. There is a protocol in which it is given. So please consult your dermatologist. And yes, so long-term condition, there is no short-term or like cure, permanent cure for it. It is a lifestyle with diet, medications, most importantly diet.
Okay.
So
yeah. Doctor, another question regarding the skin is that kids, when they start crawling, that is a time where they don't really want to stick, right? And that makes their elbows and their knees a little dark and dry, right? So and the skin becomes very rough. So do you have any tips? And can you just help us understand what can be done from as moms to prevent that?
This the first 3 years is a lot of back and forth with the kids, too many edges too, but at the same time we cannot restrict the natural development of the child. Some parents, they have this rashes on the elbows and knees, so they try to keep the child on a high chair or something and always tie them up, which is definitely not suggested. Instead, what we could do is, again, all these points are interrelated. Bathe, the bathing pattern that you're following, the moisturizer, the clothes, all of these are interlinked. So with all these points, when the child starts to crawl and starts to more walk, crawl, explode, obviously certain parts, because of friction, are going to become more drier, pigmented, or also having these rashes. So again, it comes back to putting on those soft fabrics onto the child's area. Full clothing is very, very important, but do not suffocate the child also. Wear loose, comfortable cotton fabrics that are full sleeves and at least below your knees. I would say go in winters, go up to the complete coverage, including, you have the socks inbuilt with the dress. So go in with clothing like that, and frequently keep changing. At least 2 to 3 times in a day, you change the clothes. Also have those elbows and knee caps that are available. So there are some children who are a little bit more physically active than the others. So in that kind of children, combined with the dry skin, if they have, I think those elbows and knee caps also are useful. They're very soft materials, are very, very light, and they're useful. So that can be also used, but do not restrict the movement of the child for anything.
Absolutely, because then just you're stopping the developmental milestones.
Stopping the
right, and
going to have an unhappy child, which is also going to lead to so just do not restrict them. Keep changing things accordingly.
Absolutely. Doctor, I think Rashmi is asking a question. What are the best ways to keep my baby's skin soft during this winter month?
Moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. Nothing better than moisturizing can help. That is externally. Internally, again, it depends on the age of your baby. Give them internally foods that can help nourish. Give more of water-rich foods, healthy fats. Food also plays a very important role. And number 3, again, points. Rashmi, if you're hearing, join the live from the beginning. All the points matter. from bathing to all the points that we've discussed, all of this will give, the end result will be the soft, supple skin.
Yeah.
But there are all of these things, but still the child's skin is very, very dry. Now that's a medical condition for which you need to meet a dermatologist. If you're doing all of this, just still the skin style is very xerotic, like it's very, very dry, it could be a medical condition for which you need to meet a dermatologist, and we will be giving you medical line of treatment in that case.
Yeah. Actually, adding to the same question, can you tell us some gentle ways that a mother can ensure that her kid's skin is hydrated throughout the day? Because like you mentioned, catching hold of kids, especially when they're in their 0 to 3 age, once they start crawling, is a tough time to catch hold of them, right? Like to give them a bath, to moisturize. They don't really come to the mother, right? They want to run away, they want to play. So if there are some gentle ways or some tips that you might have for moms, that would be great to keep their baby skin hydrated.
You have to figure out a way with your child to give short bath and moisturize. This is a task. I have 2 children. It's been very different with both of them, but none of them were very cooperative when it comes to applying a moisturizer. But now my older one is 6.5, and she knows that she will not step out without applying a moisturizer, and she will not long day out in the open without a sunscreen, at least on certain parts of the body. My younger one is going to be 2 very soon. I've not started sunscreen for her as yet. I only do physical protection, but moisturizer is something that is very, very important, especially since we're in a very dry environment. Just today we had 30 minutes of struggle with this moisturizing, because everyone wants to hold on to that and want to put everything in her mouth. So that is not something that as a mother we can gift it, because every child is different. But only thing I just make sure you inculcate certain habits from very young on, so they know that this is like how you ask them to brush. They know that it's a mandate that you do when you wake up and before you sleep. So this is something that has to become a part of their routine for their own good. I know it is. Today also I had my husband to tell me, why all of us grow up without moisturizers, why don't you just leave it and let it be done? It's not, because the times have changed. Are falling prey to eczemas, dry skin in today's time as compared to when we were growing up. Everything. Absolutely. You have to understand the current time, and especially your child's skin also, and act accordingly. If your child's skin is not becoming extremely dry, even when you don't use a moisturizer, then okay, I think you can just relax a little bit and apply moisturizer at frequent intervals. Don't have to make it as a priority. But if you know that your child's skin is dry or it is extremely sun sensitive, you have to act accordingly, because that is an age where they don't know. You have to bring in these habits to their routine very early on, so that they stick with it. The only actually, how do you habit? Figure out a way how you can make it. So initially we started to give empty Aveeno bottles to my daughter, so she holds and plays with it while we apply the moisturizer. Now she's become smart enough. She's saying, "This is empty. Give me a full one." So it's a task, but it's important.
But that's a good point. Doctor, you had mentioned just right now about eczema, right? Do you think in winters, condition like eczema can be difficult to manage? And would you have some advice, practical advice to, for moms who are struggling with kids who have eczema, how can they ensure that their winters go smoothly?
Eczema is difficult to manage, be it summer or winters. If the child is prone to eczematous conditions, okay, like I said, it is internal and external factors. It depends on the family's predisposition to these conditions as well. And if it is external, it's very easy to tackle, right? Because we know, okay, now it is because very, very cold, or the child has not applied a moisturizer, or is it because of the saliva, the milk that is coming and disrupting the barrier? External factors are easy to tackle. Internal factors are very difficult, because it's an ongoing thing. The child skin has to develop that immunity and resistance to these conditions. So yes, it's a very, very, very painful phase for the parents also to get through this, and sometimes it might take months for us to give that healthy skin. And again, it can not any time also, depends on the internal factors. So when you look at eczema, it's a blanket term that is given to any red inflamed skin, but eczema could be multiple reasons. So the priority is to find out why the child's skin is inflamed and sensitive. We can address it, right? So there could be multiple reasons. In a newborn child, in the first two to 4 weeks or so, you tend to get those neonatal acne, which will subside on its own. Just a little bit of care to make sure that the skin is cleansed and hygiene practices are maintained, and just give some very little soothing moisturizers, the skin takes care of itself. Then if
Yeah.
something because of sweat duct or the pores blockage because of sweat and heat humid conditions, so that also we need, the child is placed in ambient temperature, give very soothing moisture, and that is sorted, right? But if the child has internal inflammatory conditions, then we have to, it is a longer medical treatment is required for
Yeah.
that. But most common causes for eczemas are your heat rash, like we just discussed. There's neonatal acne, which tends to fade away on its own with a little bit of, and then you have something like food. You know, when child starts to have milk, especially on one side, wherever the face is getting pressed against the breast or the bottle, they tend to develop eczemas, contact dermatitis. If you're using certain products that are not suiting the baby's skin. So these are all common causes for eczema. So identifying the cause and breaking that pattern will treat eczema. And a lot of times there are skin conditions that can present as eczema and confuse us, but there is an internal, like scabies can present itself as eczema and pustules in the skin, but it is actually scabies which will require medical treatment. So, and another common thing is diaper rash.
Yes.
Very, very common. So this has to be managed really well. Okay. Lot of times the mistakes commonly done are putting on diaper and leaving it on for really long period of time.
Yeah.
Frequent change is important, and giving them frequent breaks is very, very important, especially when the child is sleeping. I don't think you should be putting a diaper, especially when the child is not crawling also.
Yeah.
Right? Before months or 5 months, I would say when the baby is sleeping, which is for most part of the time, just put a waterproof sheet, put on a neat cotton cloth, your old grandmom's sari, the best way, the softest cloth is your old grandmom's cotton sari. Or now you have this bamboo fabrics that are coming markets, extremely soft malmal cloth, so good on the baby's skin. So you can spread that, put the child on top of it, and cover them with a thin blanket again, a big one, so that even if it turns and twists a little bit, it doesn't come off. So then the child's skin is breathing. It is not constantly wet, humid, and moist, that is leading to those fissures and also increasing the bacterial growth. So frequent breaks will help in breaking that diaper rash pattern. And if the child is out during the day for a longer period of time, you apply the barrier creams that contain zinc oxide, put on the diaper, change the diapers frequently. So all these things break the pattern. And again, if it is very severe where there's bleeding, fissures, then you will have to get medical line of treatment.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point, Doctor. You know, while you were mentioning all of this, there's a mom who's asked a question. Her name is Anusha. She's saying that her daughter is 6.5 months old and she has extremely dry skin. She had gone to a dermatologist and who had suggested a few moisturizers. She kept reapplying them along with coconut oil, but the baby's skin is still very dry. So, what do you have to tell about that?
Coconut oil first. I know be surprised when I say this and like, what are you saying? Coconut oil has been there for years and all of that. But again, I said times have changed. Coconut oil will block the pores, will not let the moisturizer what is supplying penetrate deep if they're doing it together.
Yeah.
If you still want to find the benefit of coconut oil, if you really like coconut oil and cannot do without it, you take a little bit of coconut oil along with sesame oil, mix it and rub it onto the baby's skin, gently massage for that, for your satisfaction, so that the muscles and blood circulation improve. Leave it on for not more than like 10, 15, 20 minutes max, and then give baby the bath. Do not apply it after bath and leave it on for a lot of time, as this could worsen the dryness, blocking the pores. Could also lead to a little bit of tanning, because if the baby is applied coconut oil and exposed to sun, the rays can penetrate much deeper. This is why we give treatment in psoriasis. We ask the patients to apply coconut oil, expose themselves to the sun, because the sun rays have healing properties to the skin. They penetrate much more deeper when we apply the coconut oil. So this could lead to tanning, those little milia like we've discussed, the sweat rashes that the child gets. This is mostly because of two things that parents do: application of coconut oil and application of basil. They apply haldi basin so that the baby's hair is, this is a practice that
a lot of people do that.
Unwanted hair. They apply a lot of basin and haldi. This is again leading to extreme dryness, and that, those little rashes that the babies get. So coconut oil is not to be rubbed against the skin and left on a bit of time. So what you could be doing is to follow all the points we discussed: short shower, lukewarm shower, intense moisturizers like the Aveeno creams that are there especially for the winter. And then Aveeno, by the way, why don't you talk about the body wash, which is excellent? So, okay, I'll tell you the routine that I follow is lukewarm water, like I said, shower not more than 2 to 3 minutes for the kids. Extremely, sometimes when the baby is really cranky, I put her half body into the tub, leave it for 5 minutes, let her play, and not fully drenched, right? Very, very little.
Okay.
Let them play, bring them off. It's fine. Even if they cry, let them know that bath time is only this much. If we give them that window, or if we give them few times, if we give them longer showers, they will, because most kids enjoy water. I don't know anyone who, there could be a phase where they don't like water, but eventually they all enjoy water and they want to have long showers. But you make it a rule saying this is your shower time and that's about it, right? So shorter showers, lukewarm, intense moisturizer 2 to 3 times in a day. Cut off all these things like coconuts and basins and all of that oils, and humidifier in the room if the baby is having very dry skin, and cotton friendly full clothing. And
so I think you've literally given the entire skincare routine for all the moms to follow.
Food, having pecan walnuts, avocados, pine nuts. All these nuts are also good with other vitamins, minerals, and all of that, but also healthy fats. So that also should be going in the form of food. And if all of these things are not helping in about 2 to 3 months, like you follow all of this in 2 to 3 months, and the skin should improve. If it is not, then you need to meet a dermat and see what's going on.
Okay. Doctor, one last question, but you mentioned, it's just a little follow-up from that. You had mentioned about so you've given a skincare routine for the child, right? One very common thing, especially up north, is that we all use...
I'm sorry to cut. Before I forget. So when I was saying the routine, I was talking about the products also. So you give a cleanser. So you do not use the harsh soaps that you are using for your child. It will strip the natural oils. You use a gentle cleanser. The Aveeno has a good range again with oatmeal. That is what I use. And I'm not saying just because we're doing the... You can open my kids' bathroom and there's only Aveeno. Honestly, I'm telling you, because I've tried. Not very gentle as what this is, and nourishing, because the younger one went through a period of 6 months of extreme dry skin. So some not available in India. There's this Dermex range that I don't think is yet. I got it from the US because that is very, very good for extremely dry skin also.
Ma'am, it's also available now in India. So the Demexa range is available.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So I got it almost a year back from the US when my daughter was going through that period. So use a gentle cleanser for face, body, and scalp, because they don't have a lot of oil secretion as yet. That same gentle cleanser can go from head to toe, right? Then dab the skin. Do not rub the skin with towels. Dab the skin gently while the skin is still moist is when you apply a thick moisturizer from the forehead to the toe. Every place in between the webs, in between the toes, bum area, all of that, and let the product seep in for about a minute. Do not put on clothes immediately. Let the product seep into the skin for some time, few seconds at least, and then put on the comfortable cotton clothing on your child. This should be routine. And the baby is crawling and you're not putting full clothing on for whatever reason it is, apply the moisturizer multiple times in the day on the hands and feet, at least on the exposed body parts. Yeah, you were
okay. Yeah, I know. I was just saying that, up north, a lot of, in fact, in almost all households, we have an oil heater, right? And that also tends to dry out the skin. So the heater, the heater that we usually keep in, or sometimes the air conditioners have now a function where they also give out hot air, right? Because the temperature tends to drop a lot. So, how can you protect, or how can a mother protect the baby's skin, especially during that time when all of that is being surrounded?
It's that's what I'm saying. Protective clothing will help here also, because what you need to do is to prevent transepidermal water loss and to maintain the natural oils and hydration of the skin. So that will happen when you protective clothing. Put on the comfortable cotton clothing, and uske upar you put on, because most times the thick sweaters do not come only with cotton. They have wool mixed in it. So you put on the first layer of cotton fabric onto the skin, and uske upar you put whatever. Cheeks is still a problem. You have to keep reapplying moisturizer, and do not keep the heater away from the kid's operational area. Like I said, when you have a fan, put the kid not placed directly under the fan. If you have a heater, make sure you put all the child's operations like feeding, the potty areas, and all of that little far away from the heater.
Okay.
That's the only way, because you have to balance it all. So you have to figure out a way in which it works for everybody, no?
Yeah, true. Thank you so much, Doctor. I mean, this was probably one of the most insightful sessions we've had, and so many people have joined and have asked questions, and we've actually covered almost all questions here. So thank you so much for doing this for us, and the fact that you took out time is amazing, and all the tips that you shared are genuinely what we from the Baby brand also tell everyone, that short showers, lukewarm water, follow up with a lotion that gives you elongated moisturization. So for 24-hour moisturization, all of those things is what we also abide by. And thank you so much for entrusting Baby for your kids also. And thank you so much. And thank you everyone who's joined in today. We will be saving this live on the feed, so in case you've missed out, for the first few minutes or joined us late, you can totally watch the whole live. And if you have any further questions, please put it down in the comments below, and we'll definitely make sure that Dr. Priyanka takes our time and answers those also. So thank you so much.
Whatever questions comes on the comments of this live will surely be answered by me. So do follow our pages, and the Baby Range page also has great information about baby skincare, and you're doing it not just as a promotional thing for the brand, but you're actually putting in genuine information that helps lots of parents. So great job there, and I hope your page grows and helps more and more parents.
Thank you so much. That was really sweet of you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
We should do this again. Take care. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining.